We're a little dopey today. Well, I'm dopey.
Because you overslept.
I did. Good lead-in. That's perfect. See, that's why we get along here. Just overslept. Usually I get up at 6 or a little bit before. And usually there's a cat that tries to wake you up. And they did this morning, and we just said, nope, not getting up yet.
I don't blame you. It was too cold.
It's like, no, too cold. So, did rain. We got rid of the pollen, and today it's peaking up again.
Mm-hmm. And it's chilly today again.
It's chilly today, just like
freeze warning last night.
Yes.
So frost this morning.
Frost this morning.
Welcome to Virginia.
I know, I love it.
I don't.
And then cover your plants. It's hard to cover an apple tree. A pear tree, blueberry bushes that
you
are
don't keep
6,
your
7
parachute in the back, in the back in the
I
shed
never
somewhere.
thought of that. A parachute might work.
Yeah, you
Blow
could
it up,
just drop it down.
Drop it down. I was thinking smudge fires would be fun. You know, remember when they used to have their little round containers and they burn, that propane or whatever's in it, and it makes smudge around. Oh, okay, I'm old.
I don't remember that. So
They're little smudge pots. They call
Okay.
them smudge pots. And they would put them around different things because they would be markers. Now we have like orange cones or whatever, and I'm probably wrong what to use, but I remember having them. And I think one of my friends has some smudge pots that they're antiques. And they used to have smudge pots, and you can have smudge pots.
what did they do?
Well, if they produce smoke, then
Okay, keep the mosquitoes away.
Yeah, and if you can do smudge fires, the smoke, the moisture that would freeze on your plants would not freeze on the smudge particles, like the soot and ash that's in the air. So you and I are moisture attractors. Ash and soot.
That explains a lot.
Yeah. So, yeah. And, one of our friends used to live in the mountains, and they had orchards with peaches, and they would burn tires.
Mm-hmm.
To make smudge to keep the frost from getting on these plants. Because
Okay.
now the environmentalists would be after you.
Maybe not.
Can you be?
Maybe they won't be after you.
Well, I mean, they're
we're
protesting.
In a new generation.
This
right
is
now.
a new generation. You saw that podcast I sent you,
Mm-hmm.
where our president was speaking with Oprah Winfrey 37 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
talking about what he is doing right now.
I watched him with the coal miners yesterday. It was so.
Oh, really?
They
Are
were
they mining again?
They're mining it. He said it's going to be beautiful. What beautiful coal? Safe, beautiful coal.
It is, because they have so many different things now that takes all the pollutants out of it.
And he said if they can't reopen, they're going to reopen the places or the factories where they can. If they can't, then they'll build new ones.
So
and they said, it's really going, and they were also happy.
They're happy, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And
we're going to need it because Trump was talking yesterday about how with this AI, that we're going to need double the energy we're putting out now.
they use a lot of
it's
energy.
going to
Yes.
it's going to be very interesting to see how we move.
Well, I just laugh at everything. These people who are protesting in New York, they're out protesting because our freedom of speech is being denied. And I'm thinking, that's an oxymoron. You're out there protesting, so it's giving you the freedom to protest, and you're protesting that you don't have the freedom of speech to protest. So maybe the oxy part isn't part of it. Maybe it's just morons.
I think that's probably
That
is probably the way it is because they're being hands off this, hands off that, and I'm like that is so stupid. If you need to have a better message than hands off. I just don't get it.
I don't either.
Don't want to get it. I don't want to be in their minds though. I really don't.
And I'm not even looking at retirement accounts because I know it's going to bleed. But when this country gets back on schedule, and we are producing things here, not just assembled here, but made here.
And
It
at
would be
least having
wonderful.
fair trade other places.
That's right.
Because there's
fair
several
trade.
places we're in a deficit with them. So
Yes.
we just need the fair trade. Yes, is it going to hurt? But I mean, it wasn't the Black Monday everybody, all these negative people projected.
Because people are coming to, they sent out, I forget what her name was, the representative of the EU last week saying, yeah, we're going to retaliate. And then after they thought about it, it's like, yeah, we're ready to negotiate. It's like,
There's
yeah.
a lot of people that have come over or called or whatever, so.
Vietnam, Taiwan, Japan, they automatically, but they're close friends of ours. Taiwan, we get a lot of our computer stuff from them. And we really do.
And see, from what I understand, China they're hurting for money right now too, or their economy's hurting. So they don't need to have all this, which I understand today, instead of being 104, it's only 84, so something.
I saw that.
So
yes,
something changed
already
already.
changing. And I was looking at, they made over $500 billion and we make a little over 200 billion. So they make money on us a lot. And some of these countries have their tariffs are unbelievable. They're just not fair.
So it's just trying to be balanced. And
Equality.
I mean, I feel like that's I feel like that's very fair. So, yeah, is it going to take a hit some places? Yeah, but it's, the stock market, like I heard somebody say yesterday, and it might have been Warren Buffett. Maybe it was Warren Buffett that I heard him say, there are some people that are not meant to play the stock market because they're too afraid.
Yeah, you have to hold out.
You have to put it in and walk away and not look at it.
Just let it
Because
go.
the stock market fluctuates.
Yesterday was one of the days it went up because they see what's happening.
But, they said that, even like a year ago when Biden was in, it was low like this.
Yeah.
So it's going to fluctuate. I'm one of those I'm one that's not meant to play it.
We have our retirement.
Yeah.
Somebody does that and you take care of that. I'm more conservative. My husband is more,
Risky?
yeah, he takes the risks. But that's because we need that. It's our retirement fund. But I'm not looking at it for days because I know it's going to take the hit. And when this energy pops in, coal, drilling, we're going to be selling that because we have a lot of this. And we are in for a good future rather than a dire future, which is where we were headed.
But you think it's taken 20, 30, 40 years to get us where we're at. It's going to take more than 180 days to get us out.
And
that's what you really have to think about. People.
And that is why it's hurting and people see it like, oh my, because he pulled the Band-Aid off. He didn't wait for it to heal. He pulled that Band-Aid. You're doing it now.
Well, and the way I look at the stock market, which, like I said, I do not offer financial advice, I don't do anything, is that you got a lot of people out there that speculate.
Sure, they buy low and wait for it to go high.
So they're looking, and so, these businesses and stuff, or whoever, and the personal people and all, they get scared, or they'll think, okay, well, this is going to happen, instead of just waiting. So then that's what makes it go up and down as well. So, like I said,
guaranteed.
I mean, I've got stuff in it, but I'm just not even looking.
You're not looking. You're not. And I guarantee that some of these people who got us into this mess are probably buying up a lot of stock. Just saying.
Just saying. I mean, you know that there's people in Congress. Nancy Pelosi, I will name you.
Yes.
She's one
of
that
them.
she had that insider. Was able to get the insider information and was able to buy and sell stocks. She's just one of them.
And we put Martha Stewart in jail for lying to the FBI because she really, big deal. That was, sorry, Martha, I really like you. But nope. Yeah, they are. They're making a killing on this.
And that's one of the things that the Doge people, I mean, they question. Here you come in and you're not supposed to be making much as a senator. You come in not making anything.
And you're a millionaire.
Leave. Millionaire and billionaires, how are you doing this?
How are you doing this?
So, I mean, it's just really curious, but, I mean, these are just facts. If you
That's
don't
right.
like, if you don't like what I'm saying, I'm sorry. Facts are facts.
Look them up. I heard that one IRS director, was it today, he quit. You know why he quit? Because he didn't want to give information to the immigration department about people who were collecting Social Security. Now, really? If you're not guilty, why would you quit?
And why would you not want to give
Why
it?
would
Because
you not want to
want
be
give it to
upfront and
exactly. I
honest?
mean, you shouldn't be giving. There's certain things that they should not be getting. I'm sorry. Illegals should not be getting.
No, they should not.
I did hear that there's going to be a form B. I don't know if this is true or not because I haven't had a chance to research it. But going forward, there's going to be forms that people that are recipients of Social Security benefits may have to fill out. I guess maybe to say I'm still alive. Hey, I'm still here. I mean,
Why
would
not?
you be willing to do it?
Sure.
I would say yeah.
Why not? I'm not. What do I have to hide? It's
I mean,
not like I have a hidden bank account in the Caymans.
You know, there's so many times too that they, that they're usually pretty good about cutting it off, but there's ways around anything. I mean, they're finding that. I watched a guy yesterday that's on the Doge committee, and he was talking about how they've got these buildings that are sitting empty. And he said, and he said, so we need to get them off our books if we're not going to be using them. He said, but yet they're willing to spend X amount of money doing these other crazy things. And he said, it's got to stop, people. It's got to stop. The bleeding has got to stop somewhere. And right now we're bleeding out.
Well, I was just, all these different countries were getting $500,000 for this, $200,000 for that, $90,000 for this. I don't even recognize the countries. I was reading that yesterday. It's like, okay, and a lot of these countries were in Africa. What was it, $50,000 to teach somebody how to plant? I forget what the plant happened to be. $50,000. You can just go online and figure out how to plant something. You just put it in, and they'll tell you how to plant it. But we got to pay you $50,000 to teach you how to do this. And I forgot what it was they were planting. It was like something really strange. Really, you need to pay $50,000 to teach the farmers in an African country how to plant this plant.
Seemed like you could have just sent somebody over there for cheaper.
Yeah,
A plane ticket.
here's a
and week
computer,
over there.
here's your satellite. Look it up and study it on.
Yeah, 'cause they probably had better satellite than I did a year ago.
Probably. But that was one of those, there were two or three of, and I happened to be reading them to my husband. I said, I can't believe we're sending this money to these people.
No, when we have people here that need things.
Yeah, well, yes. And they were for things that I just couldn't figure out why we needed to give people in another country this money to learn how to do that, or to do this and that. And I might still have it on my phone because I sent you, I don't know how many links. That one with the comedian that said he was a liberal. That was funny. Mm-hmm. And we talked about that. My husband and I will talk about that years and years ago. Like 50. A liberal was somebody who accepted everything. Mm-hmm. That's why you were called liberal. Liberty. Root word, liberty.
And that's more like libertarians now, I guess. Right? I mean,
yes,
they just don't want you infringing. I mean, they don't want anybody infringing on them. But like, you can do what you want to do.
Like this comedian said, he says, I guess I'm a conservative now. Because we accept everybody. Mm-hmm. We don't care. We don't, freedom of speech, fine. Okay, if you want to carry arms, fine. I don't care what color you are. I don't care. They're accepted. Do I have to condone what you do? I don't, but I don't detract from you for that. I don't go out of my way to protest you, And it was really funny. He says, so I must be a conservative now. And he's right. It's exactly it. Mm-hmm. And it's the freedoms of speech. And, like, as I said, people protesting the right to have freedom of speech. And that doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. It is amazing.
This world is this country And it is, the global economy is reeling.
Yeah, because
They
there's
are like,
it's not just
here. It's like, oh, what are we going to do now? Instead of like, oh man, he did a smart move.
but there are people in other countries that wish they had a leader like ours.
Oh my gosh, yes.
They really, really do.
There's some countries, they love him.
I mean, they
They
wish
truly-
they had somebody
yes.
to stand up for them like he's doing.
Yes, they do. They
And,
do.
you know, a lot of talk this week has been about, you know, how the MAGA people are leaving and stuff. No, we voted for this. We knew it was going to be hard. I'm accepting it's going to be hard.
That's right.
I didn't expect it to be fixed in 180 days because it took us too long to get here. So, no, I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean-
fine. It's like, we have been, over the years, infested with cockroaches.
Mm.
Basically, if you want an analogy, one of the hardest insects to kill.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to go to extreme measures to do it. You may have to move out of your house and bomb it a few times, which is what we're doing right now.
Yeah, and
This is
then
it.
you're fighting these liberal and these judges that
The
I mean that
progressive
they feel
ones.
like they have, and they can't supersede the Supreme Court or
No.
supersede. I mean, they don't have that right to do that.
They don't have that right.
So you
And
know,
they're
you're
losing.
fighting things. Every time they try to do it, they're losing. So they're getting their checks and balances now too, because
Mm-hmm.
they have been too long been giving too much reign,
Basically, they've been making the laws.
and so they're not supposed to do
They're
that.
not lawmakers.
Mm-mm.
They take the laws that we, the people, through our elected officials, have come up with, and they enforce those laws. They don't interpret it differently. They don't come up with different ones. They have to enforce what's there.
So this is a purging to me. I
It
think
is.
I feel like we're purging, and it's been needed. So no, we have to. There's still been so much done in just the short amount of time he's been in that we can't say anything. Now, yes, have they started drilling? No, but look what I mean, these places were shut down. They've got to make sure
You've
they're
got to
back
get
up and running.
and
They've
running,
got to make
yes.
sure that they're running properly, that
Mhm.
everything is set. I mean, everything's got to be right for some things to begin. But things have started. Coal is coming back. They're opening that back up.
That's an easy one,
Um,
because they haven't been closed
they're-
that long.
They're working on nuclear.
That should be coming in.
But they're making sure everything is safe, everything is good before they actually do it. They, they're working on getting our money straight. So they've been busy. They've been doing the immigrants. Our borders are better than ever.
Oh,
So
yes.
I mean, there's so many things that if you look back just from January, we
Can't
have so
keep
much
up
to be
with it.
thankful. We have so much to be thankful.
That's
for.
right. And you can't keep up with it, but 37 years ago, he noticed this problem.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how long it's taken.
Mm-hmm.
And no one, there's been presidents standing up there. I believe Obama was one that said we need to do, but never did it. Because once they got in there, now I got my cushy job and I don't really, because why? Some people won't like it. You won't be popular. And the Band-Aid ripped off is going to hurt. But when it heals, the scar tissue will be going away.
It's part of the process.
Oh, I agree. It is. And we have future kids
Mm-hmm.
that we have to think about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because the way we were going, a progressive society is not
No,
a good republic
we were
society.
going down a very bad road.
Very bad road. And that's why these
And
people
our
want to come
freedoms
here.
are being still kept
Freedoms,
intact.
yes.
So,
It's been a quick ride.
I know, like I said,
It's been a
you
fun
feel
ride.
you feel like you should look back and it's been like a year since he's been in, but
No, he's just done a year's worth of work.
It's just been since January.
January, and this is like April 9th. That's a lot that's been done. And he's uncovering the corruption.
And supposedly there's something big that they've uncovered,
Oh
and I
my
guess
gosh.
they're getting that together, so I don't know what that's going to be.
It's, and between the FBI and the Attorney General, and I mean, it's just going to be, they're finding, every day they find stuff, and some stuff they find just by accident. It's like, what's in this little folder over here? And then they did uncover a whole bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, we are going to get our cake, and we're going to be able to eat it too.
Well, changing the subject, I really hoped you had listened to your radio again and gave me a funny thing to listen to. I have laughed my head off about that lady and how they called her last week about her car. That still is so funny to me. I have been cracking up. Just every once in a while, I'll just think about that to myself and it makes me laugh. So you've got to bring me another one in. I know you don't like them, but they're so funny to me.
Well, I don't know. Cars are... I love our vehicles.
It's a good thing we didn't have to put your back in the front and reverse those.
That was it. And then he says, and your spare tire's fine.
And I put your lighter in for free, but it'll be a $70 charge.
Charge for installation. Service fee for
I was
putting
like, and your tires don't work.
Oh yeah, and you're missing a transmission. You might want to buy 2 of them so you have a backup.
Would you like LED?
Would you like fluid in your LED lights? Your lights need fluid. They're low in fluid.
It just makes me. I'm sorry. Every time I've thought about that, it has made me laugh.
Well, tires. I went home yesterday and I said, our vehicles, these new vehicles, they're super safe. But in the meantime, they can make you a little paranoid too. It's like, my tire's going flat because I'm like, idiot. Your tire's low in air. And then your warning signal comes on and it shows this flashing red. And I'm like, am I going to make it home? Before we just drive home and look, oh, that tire's soft. Now it tells you it's soft and you got to drive home with it. So I go home and my husband's got our old 70 Chevy out in the driveway running because it needs to run. It's a beautiful car. I got to drive it more often, but don't want to drive it in dirty weather. Pollen gets in it. So I said, my tire's soft. Oh, okay. So I'm really happy. I'm driving here today. Bing! Okay.
Did it again?
Did it again. But it was in the range of okay. I don't know why. It's a comparison to the other tires. The other tires had 37, and this one only has 32 pounds of pressure. 33 pounds of pressure. Okay. So PSIs will pump it up. The bottom line is, I need new tires. I really do.
Okay.
So that's what I have to go get. But I will tell you, and I love these new vehicles. It's very safe. And we had a workout here, and one woman said, I'm not going to get a new vehicle. And I said, I hadn't planned on it, but my friend got one. And she found one.
It wasn't because I was looking.
I know.
I had to.
She had to. I didn't. We didn't have to. But I'm like, gee, maybe I'd like to look at that one that you saw down in South Hill. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not going to go backwards. That was a nice Santa Fe, but it didn't have the same stuff that ours had. And I love Hyundai, and they're, they build electric vehicles here now. They've got a plant, Hyundai does, so that's cool. So we ended up, we've had them almost a year now.
Mm-hmm. Mine would be into June.
Yeah, 6. Yeah, right after yours. Because I remember I was recovering from my knee surgery, and it was like 2 weeks in, I'm thinking, did we make a right decision? Because I think I'm still dopey. I did not want to drive that car for a while because I'm like...
I was leery of driving it, but I was also, it was so new to me, so many new bells and whistles, that I didn't know what I was doing, so at first I didn't drive it.
Well, I'm still learning. We go to church and we ask the young guys how to do this, because he's got a Kia and we've got a Hyundai, and we said, we don't, it's like, you can't, believe me, we're not rich. We just keep trading. We owe on these vehicles. But it's the top of the line of the Santa Fe that we could get. I love it. It's like yours. I mean, it's got leather and everything. It smells like a cow if you let it sit in the sun. But we said, gee, it's got everything, but I don't think it has a remote start. So the young guy at church says, well, you have to push the lock button twice and then hold it. I'm like, oh. It doesn't say that. But how are you supposed to know that?
It didn't have it in your book?
Did you see how big that book is?
I know, but I read them.
I I've read some of it. It didn't tell you that the rear view mirrors lock either. That it didn't have in there. I'm looking through it like, how come they don't go out? They won't
See,
go
mine
out.
don't move, so mine don't have to lock.
Oh, yours don't? Ours move. And it just so happened when my husband pulled the door, he must have hit the lock. Because when it closed in, it was like closed in. And you're not supposed to try to push them out because you'll break the motor. And I'm like, and he can't drive, an hour away to the dealers because you can't see. I'm gonna have a mirror holding down the window. Can you see now, John? It's like, so just by I'm online. I'm looking in the book. It doesn't say that there's a lock there. So I went online, and it made me feel good because it was a young person said, "I am so dumb." It's got this little thing that I didn't know. It was like a little oval, but it's supposed to represent your mirror. And it's just over the top, and you push that button and you go, eek. So I've learned within the past 3 weeks, I've learned 2 things about our car.
I'm still learning things also. So.
It's just, I haven't figured out how to get the navigation to work yet. We keep trying that and put that in. I know every place the other person drove to is in there. It's all over. It's in there. Like, oh, they drove all over here. Maybe we could go to their house.
I connect my Android Auto, and then it's.
Oh, I love that.
The map.
Yeah, and well, you can put your music. I like that. And if I have a podcast on and I'm not driving, it'll put it right in there, and we can listen to the podcast as we go along. So it's really and safe. I'm telling you. It slows you down, it speeds you up, it tells you what to do.
It will do
Time
that.
for a coffee break, do you think? I'm like, oh yeah, okay. It'll let you know if there's vehicles all around you.
And like early in the mornings and stuff, if there's frost, it'll tell you that
That's right.
the blind side thing is not on because, it's still got film on it or something. So anyway, it's interesting.
39 degrees, it says beware, might be ice.
Mine says Belsey. I'm like, what's Belsey?
Belsey.
B-E-L-C-Y? The roads might be Belsey. I don't know. I'm like, okay.
Belsey? I'm going to have to look that one up. That's interesting.
All right. Well, I guess this was an episode, so we will wrap this one up. And
yes. This was fun.
It was. Just hang in there, people.
Yes.
Hang in there. Don't be distraught. Don't get upset.
Just breathe.
Exactly. Breathe.
Breathe. Everything will be okay.
It will. All right. Talk to you later.